Hey everyone, and welcome to the Defining Your Life podcast, where we focus on living in our purpose, practicing presence, and activating our power in each moment. I'm Marsharelle, your resident pep talk provider, and I invite you to join me as we continue to learn, lift each other up, and strive to level up together. Because we are never finished defining our lives, and it takes a village, so let's build one. Stay tuned for the episode. Hey everyone. I hope that all is well. And if you tuned in last week, I'm sure that you enjoyed my chat with Jessica Hook of Abundance with Ease as we chatted about the power of alignment, amongst many other things. I have learned that when I listen and let God order my steps, I 100% feel more aligned, stronger, and confident in the direction in which I'm traveling because I'm traveling where I'm supposed to go. But in order to do that, I have to pause, listen, make sure that I'm on the right road. And I've learned that I can't do that without retreating on some level. Jessica mentioned how meditation was a tool in helping her find her way. In that 4 a.m. quiet time, 4 a.m., y'all, the woman got up at 4 a.m. to make space. Just sit with that for a moment. I mean, I'm trying to get there, but even saying it sounds like a feat. But I know it can be done clearly, right? Because she did it. But during that time, she was able to listen for what it was she needed to hear. And ironically, this week, I happened to pick up my 2023 first quarter O magazine. Finally, I know the quarter's like over, but I came across an excerpt from Jay Shetty's book, 8 Rules of Love: How to Find It, Keep It, and Let It Go. And the title of the excerpt from that book was How to Be Alone Without Dreading It. And it occurred to me at that moment that I read that title that I have been more than subtly reminded of how much of a gift solitude is and how it can truly quiet all the chatter in our lives, both outwardly and inwardly. And so, in an effort to listen and hear, I found that was my cue to share a bit more about solitude with you. Now, I am a huge fan of alone time, and not the kind where I sub out in-person time with scrolling and engaging with folks in a different kind of way, but truly the no distraction kind, where I can only hear myself and listen and hopefully hear from God as well. Unfortunately, in this fast-moving world where we feel the need to always be plugged in, be connected, solitude really gets a bad rap. But if there is always a stimulant from the outside of some kind feeding and fueling you, how can you hear what you need to hear from within? In the excerpt I mentioned, Jay Shetty says, our entire lives, we have been primed to fear being alone. Now, of course, there are levels to this, right? Jay Shetty was actually a monk for a period of time, so I'm sure that most of us couldn't trump his alone time by a long shot. But on some level, we all need to embrace a little solitude. As I said before, I'm not just talking about not being in the physical presence of another person. I'm talking about creating space for you and your thoughts alone regularly. If we spend all of our time alone, that chatting on the phone or scrolling, commenting on social, watching television, constantly engaging with other voices in some capacity, when do you truly hear your own voice or God's voice? We have to make a conscious effort to make space for thoughts that have not been manipulated by the outside world in some form. Ask yourself, do you enjoy being alone? Why or why not? They say silence is golden. And any of us can find the place and the space to be in silence and solitude with our thoughts and feelings if we want to. It doesn't have to be complicated. What's important is making the space for you where it's quiet and uninterrupted so that we can listen and hear what needs to be heard. Now, y'all know that I believe in the beauty and the power of a village, but I also believe in the power of being a strong, whole individual who knows who they are. But you have to spend quality time with yourself in order to really get to know you. Treat your relationship with yourself the same way you would a romantic relationship or even a budding friendship. So here are a couple of suggestions that I came across that I hope will help you. I will link the sources in the show notes if you wish to explore further. Jay Shetty says, start an alone audit. Track the amount of time that you currently engage in solo pastimes, which can include walking, meditating, exercising, cooking, creating by yourself. This does not include watching television, mindless scrolling, or sleeping. He says with the audit, you are just trying to get an idea of what your habits are currently. He goes on from there, but in a nutshell, after you do the audit, you want to look at ways to increase your time spent alone. A Psychology Today article entitled 8 Ways to Embrace Solitude suggests that the act of being alone without being lonely is actually a skill. The article states that by using specific strategies, you can make time alone a productive, enjoyable experience. And I concur. Now, one of the solitude skills that Psychology Today mentions is the skill of feeling and regulating your emotions. When you're in solitude, a lot of feelings and emotions come up because you haven't had the opportunity to crowd them out. And I believe that part of the reason that so many of us prefer not to be alone is so that we don't have to confront these feelings and emotions. We're afraid. But that same solitude that makes us have to confront what we don't really want to can also help us heal if we allow it. Developing that skill is so powerful. I believe that having a handle on your emotions can change the trajectory of your life. Psychology Today also suggests that we find balance. Virginia Thomas, PhD, who's the author of the article, says that feeling drained and irritated and wanting to run away can all be cues that we are overstimulated by the outside world. And having experienced this, I'd say it really doesn't need to be a drastic situation that you encounter to get to this point. So listen to your body, don't ignore its cues, and don't only acknowledge when you need to retreat, but take the action of actually retreating. This for sure ties into knowing when to rest as well. But by the same token, know when you are transitioning from simply being alone to lonely. We are made to live in community, but should have the ability to love and be with ourselves independently. So never discount one or the other. Time in solitude will make you better for when you are in communion with others, because you will have a full hold on you. So look forward to what it can offer as opposed to shunning it. You never know what you might discover about yourself, your abilities, what you alone truly like or dislike, what you love about yourself, what you may need to change. But the unfiltered view of you, not through the lens of anyone else at all, not a spouse, a child, a parent, that matters greatly. So I encourage you to quiet the chatter. It will for sure be there when you get back, okay? And it will more than likely not be much different than how you left it. But you very well could be. Don't wait until you are driven to solitude by overwhelm or some sort of life altering event. Embrace the practice of being in solitude. Explore all that it has to offer. And if you don't already happen to know, discover why it matters. I'd like to leave you with a quote from Robin Sharma today. In stillness lives wisdom. In quiet, you'll find peace. In solitude, you'll remember yourself. Thanks so much for joining me this week. I hope that you consider giving yourself the gift of solitude, and I'd love to hear how it enriches your life. So be sure to, you know what, drop me a DM, send me an email, or leave a comment on IG. I love hearing from all of you. And if what you've been hearing has been beneficial to you, please remember to share, review, rate, and subscribe. Invite others to our village. Sharing is caring. And I can't wait to chat with you again next week. Take care until then.